It is Amazon Prime Day in the US, and I've been scouring the Amazon website looking for the best ham radio deals, so we're going to go through those in this video today. Now, as always, there will be links below in the description to everything in this video, plus if I find a couple more deals after publishing this video, they'll also appear below there too. I've also done some reviews on the products that are featured in this video, so the links for those videos will be below if you want a little bit more information. So let's dive into it. So the first deal for Prime Day is the Baofeng UV5R Mini handheld. I reviewed this radio last year when I got this, and these are a great little starter radio. Now, I've featured this because it is $15.19, 20% off, which I think is pretty much the cheapest that I've ever seen this radio. And these are USB-C charging on these radios. They're little tiny little things. They're great radios for go packs, for a second radio, nice color screen. They put out 5 watts, easy to program. They're a little bit of an upgrade from the old UV5R. The one thing that you might want to consider possibly is replacing the antenna on them just to get a little bit more range out of them. But apart from that, they work great. They're a great little starter radio for those who are getting into amateur radio, or if maybe you've got a club with a few people, few starters. You might want to give out some radios to new people who have just passed their license as well, and these are a good, affordable way to do that. You can check out my review below. I'll put that in the description, of course. Now, they do also have a 2-pack, which works out to be just slightly more, $16, but this one appears like it does come in green. Again, you get the 2-pack, you get 2 batteries. They do come with the charging here directly on the batteries as well, so you can unplug those and you don't need them plugged into the radio to charge. So there's a single pack or 2-pack, depending on which one you want to go for. But yeah, these are a great little option. Now, next up is the Redivus RT95. This is for those who want to look at a dual band mobile radio. These are very popular. These are a great radio. Again, another radio that I've reviewed too, $112 here on sale for Prime Day. They will do dual watch receive on them, DTMF, you can program them via chirp. They're a small, tiny little unit as well, so you can either mount them in the car or you can use them in your ham radio shack as like a base mobile, base radio, but in a mobile form, compact. You can flip the screen upside down as well, so you can mount them in a variety of different ways too. They do have a speaker built into the microphone as well, so you can either choose the microphone speaker or the speaker in the radio too. And they've been around for quite a couple of years now, and I did my initial review a couple of years ago, and they're still incredibly popular. They receive quite high reviews as well. This one, 4.6 stars here from 151 reviews on Redivus. Now, next up is the G90. Now, I've included this even though it's not technically a Prime Day deal. I've just included it because it is 10% off. It's currently $418. This is not the cheapest that I've seen the G90 before. I have seen that cheaper. Whether it's going to be, less than $400, I think $395 might have been at one point. Yeah, maybe, but these are a great HF radio if you want to then progress again into something like that. If you want to use it for portable HF, they've got the built-in antenna tuner, a little SDR radio, and they're 20 watts. Now, I always tend to add these into these sale deals because they always inevitably come up. This one's $143 for the Tiny SA Ultra, 100 kilohertz to 5.4 gigs. This little thing, you can look at the RF spectrum all around. You could see what radio transmitters are around near you. There is also the ability that you can listen off air as well using these. They also come with a signal generator built in too, a basic one. And these are great also for testing your radios as well to see if they are have any harmonics or have any issues like that. So that's also a good option. I've done a video on how you can actually test using these as well, so I'll pop that below. Now, you can also get this in a bundle as well with the 50-watt attenuator, but I recommend that the price is a little bit more expensive there. So if you go for the one here that is on special, $143, and if you're just testing, may as well look at something like a 10-watt attenuator if you're just testing like handheld radios. If you want to go for slightly higher testing mobile radios and stuff like that, then you might want to look at a higher attenuator. But yeah, these are on special. Now, there's also a Coax switch that I found. This is a TW103 Coax switch for $46 three-way. Now, if we scroll down here to some of the specifications that you could see here, we've got that they cover a frequency range of DC to 1 gigahertz, so it will do HF, VHF, and UHF. Very low loss between 500 megahertz, 0.1 of a dB, and 500 to 1 gigs, 0.15 of a dB. And they can handle up to 1.5 kilowatts on HF, 1 kilowatt on VHF, and 500 watts on UHF. It wouldn't be a Prime Day without adding in a Baofeng USB programming cable. So I showed you before the Baofeng UV5R Mini. If you want to program that, you can do it via the K connector on the side. Now, $4.73, I think, is the cheapest. They seem to be getting cheaper every single year. Next time, they're going to be giving them away, I reckon. But USB programming cable, these are really good because they're pretty much plug and play. You just plug them straight into your PC, they find the driver, and away you go. They work with Chirp. And I've done a video on programming your radios with Chirp as well, so check that out. Now, I've actually got one of these units. This is an HF end-fed antenna balun. You can see here that I've got mine. This is $21.90. This will cover 1 megahertz to 30 megahertz, HF, 100 watts. I've opened this up. There's a little toroid capacitor, all that sort of thing inside. All you got to do is just add wire, and you've got yourself a good option to get on the air, maybe even portable. So yeah, it will handle 100 watts SSB. If you're running digital, slightly less there as well. And they are a 64-to-1 balance, so you'll have to work out how much wire you'll need for whatever frequency that you'll be running on. Now, next up is the Shawcom SW102S. This is a very popular power meter, an SWR meter. This is currently on sale, 20% off, $46. Through-line power meter. Covers VHF and UHF, so just keep that in mind that it won't cover HF, I don't believe. 120 watts maximum power, so these are good for being able to, again, measure output power of your radios and also checking the SWR of your antennas easily and conveniently. Now, moving on to some mesh core stuff, which has popped up. Seed Studio have a Prime Day deal on the Weo Tracker L1 Pro. This is the prime mesh core device that I use. Also, you could use this with Meshtastic as well, of course. $47.99, so less than $50 for the tracker. These are great. The battery lasts quite a long time. There's a nice little OLED display on the front as well. Sits in a nice little case too. And these have a GPS built into them too, so you can report your position. So these are a great little option if you're interested in a companion device for MeshCore, or you want to run this on Meshtastic as well. Now, in addition, they've also got the SenseCap Solar Node P1 Pro. You could set this up as a MeshCore repeater, which is what a lot of people have been doing. You can also set it up, obviously, on Meshtastic too. And this is $112 essentially for all of the hardware. You get the solar panel there with, I believe you also get the battery compartment, the batteries as well, potentially, I think with the Pro unit. Just check that. Don't rely on what I've just said there. But you get all the brackets and all the mounting hardware, and this is sort of just a plug-and-play easy solution that you can just put together, flash it up, put it up on the pole, and away you go. So they last quite a long time. Just checking to see if you do get... Here we go, what's in the box with GPS and battery. It does say there. So just double check that. Just double check that it does come with the battery as well. Now, obviously with the Tiny SA that I mentioned before, they've also got the Nano VNAs here that are on special. $77.60 for the VNA H4. This is 9 kilohertz to 1.5 gigs, which pretty much covers every amateur band that you will ever use. These are very good, even if it's just for measuring SWR on an antenna. They are a cheap option for a antenna analyzer. So you remember, like, I've got a MFJ analyzer. I hardly ever use the MFJ now. I'm always using my Nano VNA. It's really easy to set up to check for SWR. It's very simple. I've done a video again on calibrating and setting up your Nano VNA for all the different frequency bands. So it's just one touch, plug in the antenna, and away you go. So on special, really easy. Now, this is the popular model that a lot of people get, which has the SMA connectors on the side. You get all of the adapters here, the calibration standards, and the leads as well. My version that I always say is this one. This is the NanoVNA SAA2N. Not on a Prime Day deal, but just slightly more, $106. It does cover up to 3 gigahertz, so you include that extra band of 2.4 gigahertz if you want to do some Wi-Fi antenna testing or something like that, or you want to do sweeps up to 2.4 gigahertz, and also comes with all the standards in this little nice little carry case here as well. Now, next up is Heatshrink tubing. This is 4:1 ratio adhesive line, so glue lined Heatshrink. This is very good for sealing all sorts of connections, especially ones that are outdoors as well, with the glue line stuff as well. Just keeps the water out. I featured this in the last Prime Day, and I think it was around about the same price, and these were very, very popular. They were pre-cut lengths, sold out, I think, actually, last time when I had these featured. So consider getting some of those if you want some heat shrink in the shack. There's also some other options here that you can see on the screen as well, various different lengths and sizes and pieces and all that sort of stuff. So have a look at those if you're interested to get some of that for stocking up the shack. Now, this is my multimeter. I actually came across this as well and found the Fluke 117. This is a model that I've used. I think they've changed it or tweaked it a little bit. There's a few extra functions in this particular model now. Mine doesn't have the auto V, whatever that is, and the volt alert. Mine's just the bog standard one. But these just keep on going. Like mine is, 2026? Mine's like 15 years old. Like I got mine years and years and years ago, and it's still going. So if you're going to buy once, cry once on a multimeter, this is probably the one that you want to do. $189. It's got the backlit screen as well, so you've got the little button there that you can press, and you've got the backlight. These honestly, yeah. Again, if you're going to buy a multimeter and you want to spend like $189 is quite high for a multimeter, but again, it is on special, and these will last you. I can guarantee you. They are a fantastic piece of kit. It's my main multimeter that I use here, and it just keeps on going. So consider getting one of these. There are a couple of other, obviously, models here. Like you can get the cheapo $13 one. Obviously, if you're not that concerned, and you're just getting like cheap, or you're just doing basic measurements here and there. But again, like I don't know, this is the one that I recommend that people should get, definitely 100%, because just purely based on the ruggedness of it. It comes in this case as well that I've dropped mine so many times that I can't actually count, and it just keeps on going. So yeah, I found that was on special for Prime Day, which is good. There might be other models as well in the Fluke store, and as you can see, yeah, there are a couple of other things here, like the non-contact voltage tester and the infrared tester and all these sort of things. So yeah, check out the Fluke store. They make good kit. They've got the good reputation. Now, like the heat shrink, the other thing that also sold very well in the last Prime Day, and I featured it again, is the self-fusing silicone tape. This is for waterproofing outdoors. This is one that I found, which was the reason why I featured this is it is $10, but it is 27 cents a foot. And when I saw that, I was like, how long is it? It's actually 36 feet. So this is quite a very big roll, long roll, gets good reviews as well. Lots of them that have sold. So if you want some self-amalgamating silicone tape to keep the water out, then consider this one. Moving into some electronics as well, there's some other bits and pieces that have popped up. These are good for just stocking up in the shack. I've got over my shoulder there a whole pile of resistor packs that I got recently, but these are 2600 piece, 130 value, quarter watt resistors all the way from 1 ohm to 3 meg ohms, $14 for the pack. There's other ones as well, other packs that you can get too, but this is the one that sort of just stood out. So consider those if you need some resistors, always the case. And there's also capacitor kits as well. There's heaps of different ones here that were on sale for Prime Day with all sorts of different values and different pieces. So it all depends on what you need and the type of capacitor as well. Here's electrolytics and here's ceramic capacitors and all that sort of stuff. So have a bit of a browse through there. You might even find a combination of the two that you might want to look at getting. Now, next up, I found this. This is an MC4 solar connector crimper kit with also connectors as well. They also critically have the little tool there to pull the MC4 connectors apart as well. Once you get them together, you need these things to pull them apart. This is $24 on sale, 5 stars. Fits the 14 to 10 gauge cable or wire. So if you're doing any sort of solar installation, then you're probably going to want a crimper, especially the ones here with the MC4 connectors on them. So that's a good deal. I found those. So check those out as well. They'll be below. Now, as I was sort of browsing through some more electronic bits and pieces, I found this, which is a steel enclosure, IP66 waterproof and dustproof, $86.90, quite large at 24 by 24 by 8 inches. I actually thought about this and what you could use this for those that might want an outdoor enclosure for their coax cables, maybe from their tower, or if they've got multiple antennas and they want to sort of build maybe a lightning arrestor buzz bar in here, they could put that in. Terminations that they could put outside, mount the box outside, and there's this backing plate obviously that you could use as well. But I just thought it was good, good size, good deal, which is very good for the size. They've also got obviously different sizes here too. I'm not sure which other ones here are on special, but you can have a bit of a browse through and try and find something that might suit whatever requirement you might have. Now, this was another popular unit last Prime Day as well. A mini external speaker from Radio Oddity, only $12 here. Now, I was talking to someone the other day who actually moved their radio from underneath their seat and mounted it outside, or not outside, but in the radio, so it was a little bit easier to hear. I've always run extension speakers like this, so if that you're in the sort of similar boat and you've got maybe a radio mounted in a location where the speaker is not very loud, then this is a good cheap option to be able to get this to easily plug in with a 3.5mm jack, plugs directly into the back of the radio, and away you go. And then that way you can put this speaker somewhere where you can actually hear it that's closer to you in the vehicle cab. Now, here's another device that I've done a review on before. This is the Blue Eddy power station. This is the AC 180, just over a kilowatt or 1,052 watt hours LiPo 4 battery. It comes here with the DC output. You can charge it with solar in, you've got USB output, and you've also got your AC output as well. But mainly what I used this for was camping and for off-grid. So when I went away at the start of this year, I went summer camping and used this. This ran a fridge overnight. I recharged it with a small little 100-watt solar panel, and also charged all of our phones, charged actually my IC 705 as well I was using for an activation, and I just plugged the 705 straight into the DC jack when I was finished to charge up the internal battery. I think I actually ran the 705 off 10 watts using the DC output as well, which was really good. Now, speaking of solar panels as well, I came across these. These are very highly rated, Cool Sun solar panels. 4.8 stars, 200 watts. Now, these were $144, so they're less than $1 a watt. In actual fact, what's that, 70 cents a watt or something like that? You can get them in a 2-pack as well. Now, I featured this, which is not really ham radio related, but I bought one of these, which is a air duster, and they're sort of those super high RPM air dusters. These are really good for being able to clean off, blow dust away, if you're drilling boxes and you've got plastic and metal all over in the garage, you can easily clean it all up. I use this all the time. I actually use this more than I thought I would. So that's why I've put it in here as a deal because it is $32. I think that if you're going to get this, if you could use this even to dust the shack as well. So if you've got a dusty shack, it's a very easy way to go and clean it up. So I just thought that I'd pop that in there. Now, if you picked up an awesome deal for Amazon Prime Day, pop it in the comments below. And again, I've reviewed some of the products that were featured in this video. To make it easier for you, I've put them in a playlist, which is able to be viewed over here.